Gentlemen, my name is Shannon McGurk of Authentic Masculinity. Thank you for taking this time with me today. I'm here to talk to you about why you matter as a man. I don't know where this finds you. I don't know how old you are. I don't know what you do for a living. I don't know your personal story, and I don't know where you are in your journey as a man. But what I'm here to tell you is I have some powerful good news for you. You matter in a very powerful way, and the world needs what you have inside you as a man. In 2007, I crashed my life. I lost everything I had, and I had to rebuild it for the sake of my wife and my children. In that process, I discovered that I had certain superpowers that I had not known I had. The good news is, through this voyage of discovery, I found out that other men share these superpowers. And in fact, gentlemen, we all have them. So why am I here talking to you today about why you matter as a man? I'm here to tell you this because it's powerfully good news, and the whole world benefits when we improve just a little bit. It doesn't take a lot, and it's exciting. And once you can tap into your superpowers, you can find out that you can improve your health, you can improve your wealth, and you can improve the value you bring to your networks with other men. And of course, you also benefit those you love and lead. The women and children in your life need us all, need you, need I, need all of us to be better men. And the world will be better for that journey. So let's talk about it briefly. And if I do my job the right way, by the end of this 8 minutes, you're going to want to hear more, and you're going to be very confident and happy about what we've discovered. There are 3 themes that you'll see interwoven throughout just about everything we say. And these 3 themes are clarity, simplicity, and action. They're what we as men do very well. Now, on this subject of action, a lot of us get hung up on this trap where we think, wait a minute, everything has to be perfect before I do anything. And what I will tell you is that's not true at all. Taking imperfect action is vitally important, for that's how we learn. Taking imperfect action gives us permission in a way to make the mistake, and once we make the mistake, we recover, reapproach, and improve. So don't be afraid to take imperfect action. It's one of the things that we do well as well. This concept of clarity, simplicity, and action affects the way we think as men, it affects the way we project our masculinity, and it affects our moral authority, which is very important. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. So how do you think as a man? And why is it important? Whenever you approach a problem, the way you look at it is distinctly masculine. You were created for conflict. You were created for combat. Whether that combat is spiritual combat, moral combat, physical combat, legal combat, you shouldn't be afraid of it because you're built for it. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying to yourself right now, well, if all this is so powerful and all this is so good, how come I don't feel better as a man? If all this is so powerful and all this is so good, why am I not more confident in my daily actions? And the reason is, if you look throughout our popular culture, you're going to find, and I think if you start paying attention and being intentional on this question, you'll start to see that everywhere we look, masculinity is under assault. Either it's being kind of beaten up and ridiculed directly, or it's indirect. And so it's understandable that a lot of us as men have started to doubt our value as men. We've started to doubt that we're powerful. Or you might say to me, well, Shannon, I don't have your background. I'm a quiet man. I'm a more gentle man. I'm a kinder man. I reject any caricature of masculinity. And let me tell you right now, in a way, that makes you powerful in a different way. So what I would tell you is, if anything I say to you starts to get your defenses up, press through it and listen carefully. Because if you're a man who is kinder, if you're a man who is gentler, if you're a man who is more thoughtful, the powerful point I want to make is this clarity, simplicity, and action is resonant in you as well. You're still a combatant. You're still a warrior. You're still built for conflict. You just have to deploy your masculinity in a little bit different way. So stay with me on this. Because your masculinity is so powerful, I like to tell people it's industrial strength. A little goes a long way. So let's think here about why clarity, simplicity, and action informs the way we think. Why are clarity, simplicity, and action important? Because what we are required to do as men is difficult. And if we don't seek out this simplicity, we're going to get overwhelmed by needless complexity. At Authentic Masculinity, we have found the best way to think of the roles we fill as men is to break them down into 4 categories: prince, priest, provider, and protector. We're going to talk about them in greater detail later, but in short, I'll tell you right now, prince means leadership, priest means the spiritual framework, provider means what we do to provide for those we love and lead, and protector means how do we protect those we love and lead. When we take clarity, simplicity, and action to those 4 spheres, we improve our behavior as men. And then when we apply all of this to our health, our wealth, and our network, we're going to start to see improvements in every area of our life. It's powerful. So hang on to your hats because you're going to like what you discover. The next thing I'd like to talk about very briefly is the way we project our masculinity. Masculinity is what I like to call industrial strength. A little goes a long way. This is why masculinity can be so easy to caricature. You can take a bad example of masculinity and exaggerate it and make men look pretty bad. You might ask yourself, all right, if I'm a gentler man, if I'm a quieter man, if I'm a humbler man, does that mean that my masculinity is any more difficult to tap into? And I would say no, quite the contrary. In fact, what I would tell you is, once you study a little bit of how you think as a man, and this is the beauty of being a student of your own masculinity, once you study a little bit about what makes you tick and ask yourself the right questions, you're going to find that your mere presence in a situation makes the whole situation better because you are a man. What do I mean by this? If you look around in the modern world today, you're going to see many examples of masculinity under assault. Many people have come to believe that what we bring to the table, what we bring to the discussion, what we bring to the conversation as men isn't important. In fact, a lot of people will tell you that men and women are exactly the same. I'm here to tell you something that's very much more exciting than that. What I would tell you is men and women are completely different, but completely equal and complementary. And once you realize that, you realize, wait a minute, what I bring to this discussion as a man is very important and helps everybody around me. The moral authority you have as a man can never be taken away from you. That's the other thing that's powerful about this. You as a husband, you as a father, you as a man, nobody can take your authority away. You can surrender it, and sadly that's what many of us have done. We can surrender our authority, we can surrender what we bring to the table, but nobody can take it away. And don't fall into that trap. That is a disempowering trap to say, oh well, so-and-so won't let me. So-and-so's taken this away from me. So-and-so has undermined my credibility. No, sir, I must tell you, if you have fallen into the trap of giving that away, I'm here to tell you that it's very exciting to resume your role as a man. And all it takes is a little bit of effort and a little bit of thought. And we're going to help you with that. Actions have consequences. This is very important. In everything we do as men, it's vitally important that we be intentional. Don't treat your masculinity as something that's casual. We're going to recommend you be intentional because your actions do have consequences. And if you drift through life and don't realize the power you have, you may find yourself in a place you don't want to be. And if you find yourself in this conversation listening to what I have to say and pushing back, that's a good sign. If you disagree with me, ask yourself why. If anything that I say to you right now you find a little bit too assertive, that's a pretty good indicator it's time for this discussion in your life, and I'd recommend you have it. Because your moral authority is powerful, because you have these superpowers, and because your masculinity is industrial strength, I'm here to also tell you your actions have consequences. This is the other side of the sword. It's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, what you have is powerful. On the other hand, what you have is powerful. And what that means is you have to recognize that when you take action, things are going to start to happen. And when these things start to happen, you have to learn new skills to manage the goodness that comes into your life. When we started this project, we started to see so much coming together, we were hesitant whether or not to even start. But we decided to do something which we're going to encourage you to do. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Take imperfect action. Taking imperfect action is okay, because once you start, you might make a couple of mistakes, you will quickly correct. And once you correct, you get back in the fight, and if you don't quit, you'll start to see yourself improving in increments every single day. You're going to find yourself feeling more confident. You're going to find yourself feeling more comfortable. You're going to find yourself feeling more in control. And once you feel this confidence, this sense of self-worth, you're going to find every aspect of your life improving. And mark my words, the people who love you, they will see it too. And you're going to start to see all of this improve at once. And then you have a whole different set of problems. They're the wonderful problems to have when we start to grow. I want to talk very briefly about action and why it's so important. In the world in which we live today, you might think that there are not very many opportunities for you to take action. Let's say you're an attorney. In that situation, words are your weapons. Let's say you're a salesman. In that situation, words are your tools. In many situations, action doesn't necessarily mean physical action. Frequently, it's the way we think and the way we bring our masculinity to bear in a given situation. What's important here is that we identify the problem, we clarify it, we simplify it, and then we decide to move forward and address it. This is how we're great. This is how we're good. This is how we're powerful. And once you start to see all of these things working together, you're going to start to see all the changes we're talking about in authentic masculinity. Without any further ado, I'd like to recommend that you take a deep breath, get ready for a great ride, because we've discovered many powerful tools, many powerful resources, and it is our great privilege to put them at your disposal. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being what you are as a man, and thank you for considering how powerful you can be once you decide to begin to improve. Until I talk to you again, I'll ask you to be bold, be authentic, and be masculine. Stop in and see us at www.authenticmasculinity.com.